Ben didn't want his love letters to Jennifer being made public in her new film, but insiders have claimed it wasn't because he had kept them a secret from his ex-wife, because Jennifer Garner's fans were kind of outraged after Ben Affleck revealed that he clung on to his correspondence with J-Lo during his 13-year marriage, and then had those letters and emails bound into a book to gift to Jenny from the Block when they reunited in 2021. But insiders have quashed any notion that the admission shocked Garner. Apparently she was happy for Ben Affleck and J-Lo. She's friends with them, and she's also at peace in her current relationship. But Ben, on the other hand, would love for the outside world not to know about his love letters. Sure, he's a romantic, but you know, he's still a private kind of guy. He keeps his memories, whether it is from the movies he worked on or family, relationship moments. He always has what common folks call receipts. But then at the end of the day, nobody was surprised by J-Lo making things public because J-Lo wanted everybody to know about it. She was like, oh, this is our inspiration. Ben didn't know that she actually brought those into the studio until she told the world. According to several of J-Lo's former staff members, Jennifer earned herself the nickname Paylo because she paid her staff around 50% less than they could make elsewhere. And this rumor's been going on for years, so it's pretty much fact at this point. We're talking like 2003, which is like 20 plus years ago. J-Lo was spotted in Vegas with Ben Affleck when they were first dating. Right now we're in round 3, 2, depends on where you are on the timeline. The pair had a big win. Ben decided to drop $2,000 to the dealer, but before the dealer could actually take his well-earned reward, J-Lo snatched up the cash, swapped it for $200. Now, people are like, okay, does she have a reason for paying her staff so little? She's like, yeah, I had to work hard to make my money, so like everybody else should. And like, I'm sorry, that's just embarrassing. If you had to work hard to earn what you earned, you should want to try and make it easier for others because you know how hard it is. It's just a really entitled point of view, and it's gross. Now, if you didn't know, earlier this year, J-Lo released her documentary on Prime. It's This Is Me Now, a love story. Gave you behind-the-scenes look into her album, This Is Me Now. If I'm sounding redundant, just you wait. The movie was called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Until it was told, and now it's over. Sorry, my little ad lib there. Some fans who watched it took to social media to call her out for her lies. Because in one scene, she poses in the mirror of her personal gym because she's shaking out her hair. She's reminiscing about growing up in the Bronx. She's like, yeah, I like taking my hair like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be effing wild, no limits, all dreams. But then come in TikTok user, photos by Angela, who's like, I went to the same Catholic high school as J-Lo, and J-Lo is lying. She said, and I quote, we both attended an all-girls high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood, so you weren't running up and down the block. Now, J-Lo's been long accused of some fibbing and whatnot. One big fib, apparently she doesn't actually sing on her albums. Singer Natasha Ramos took to TikTok to shed light on that rumor. So Natasha has a voice pretty similar to J-Lo's, and was allegedly hired to sing the demo of Jenny from the Block. And the production team liked her voice so much that they asked her to record 5 more songs for an album, which, oh boy. Natasha received $3,500 in a backup singer's credit. But as she claims, and as the original demo demonstrates, yeah, it's her voice in the final track. And not only in the choruses, it's her laugh, it's her yelling from the Bronx. J-Lo, I think, only really sings in the verse. Speaking of stealing, J-Lo's notorious for stealing from other artists. Like, she caught her big break back in 1997 when she starred as the late Latin pop icon Selena in the biography of the same name. And after that film, J-Lo ventured into music. Her demo was picked up by music exec Tommy Mottola and Sony Music, and she dropped her debut album in summer of 1999. And one big hit from that album was If You Had My Love. You know it, you love it, we've all heard it. Well, that song got some backlash from R&B singer Shantae Moore because Moore had a near identical song called If I Gave Love that she recorded a year prior in 1998. Both these songs were written and produced by Rodney Jerkins. It's been said that J-Lo's then boyfriend, whose name I probably shouldn't say on here, pressured Jerkins to write a near identical song. And J-Lo's stealing habits only got worse as time went on. This wasn't like a one and done. So using background vocals is not uncommon in the music industry. But the issue with J-Lo is that she's passed those off as her own. Songs like Play and the I'm Real remix feature prominent reference track vocals from Christina Milian, Ashanti. J-Lo and Ja Rule's music video for I'm in Real remix, yeah, J-Lo used Ashanti's reference track vocals in the song and passed them off as her own. Yeah, instead of J-Lo re-recording the song, which is kind of what's normal in the industry, she left the demo vocals on the song and failed to credit anybody else. If I was to list everybody she's like stolen from over the years or attempted to steal from, we'd be here all day. But let's look at some notable names. Usher, Mariah Carey, Brandy Norwood. I could go on and on. Oh, and by the way, JLo's also been accused of lip syncing a lot during live performances. In 2021, fans flooded social media during her American Music Awards performance because they were very disappointed that her vocals did not match the studio version of her song On My Way. And then 2014, she was performing on American Idol, and folks were like, no, you're lip syncing I Love Ya Poppy. We all saw it, we all know it. Not the right move. So in 2002, JLo starred in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan. And she went all over the world promoting this, and when she landed in London, people were talking. They weren't talking about the movie though, they were talking about her demands. Because, well, she was there and, hanging out, she had a very interesting encounter with hotel staff. She was staying at the Metropolitan Hotel, and this is where the early signs of JLo being a career diva began to show. The hotel staff was astounded by her extravagant demands, because apparently it was reaching levels they'd never seen before. She was like, I need thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. And also, if I'm even gonna go a block around the corner, I need a limo. Literally, she had 7 limousines escort her to lunch at a place that was only 200 yards away. So maybe you think, well, Alexa, maybe she grew out of that. 2012 reports surfaced that Jenny from the block demanded that staff working for her make no eye contact or even speak with her. While having work done on her San Fernando Valley home, she demanded that none of the helpers, drivers, or contractors have any interactions with her. And reportedly, when flying first class, she doesn't like anybody to bother her. Not even a flight attendant. And that's their job. They bother you for safety, if you need a snack. One time a flight attendant offered her a drink, and she was like, She said instead to her assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime. Sure, this rumor hasn't really been confirmed, but come on, who does that? JLo had her former co-star Ryan Guzman fake his relationship status to hype up their movie almost 10 years ago. And we found this out from his ex-girlfriend who was with him at the time. So Melanie Iglesias called out JLo on the No Chaser podcast for how Jen acted during the 2015 The Boy Next Door press run. Because apparently JLo was holding hands with Ryan at after parties and acting like they were an item. But she knew fully well he had an actual girlfriend. The model says she even met JLo at an award show while she was dating Ryan, claiming she gave her an awkwardly firm handshake and an intimidating once-over, something Melanie says she was disappointed over, seeing as at the time she viewed JLo as a hero. And Melanie also pointed that when Ellen DeGeneres directly asked JLo on the show, doesn't he have a girlfriend? JLo played dumb. She's like, I don't know. Girl, you knew. JLo faced a lot of backlash after revealing she was unhappy about sharing the stage with fellow artist Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl. The duo took the stage by storm at the iconic annual halftime show, with their history-making performance attracting a lot of praise from fans and celebrities worldwide. But turns out, despite the actual success of the performance, JLo wasn't really happy with the NFL's decision to have her and Shakira take the stage together. She admitted in her Netflix documentary that we know way too much about that she thought it was the worst idea in the world. Shortly after those comments hit online, fans were like, okay, what's up with this entitled attitude? Arguing that regardless of time constraints, it was iconic. And it's like, girl, you went out, you did your thing.
So starting off, we obviously have Mariah Carey. Now the Mariah Carey-Jennifer Lopez feud has been going on for years. It all started with JLo collaborating with Mariah's ex-husband, Sony record executive Tommy Mottola. Now Mariah claims that Tommy used JLo to try and get back at her and accused them of stealing songs. Later on, Mariah was doing an interview for the German television program TAF, and she was asked about other pop stars, including JLo. But she was asked this, Mariah just shook her head back and forth and said, I don't know her. Now the interview was uploaded to YouTube in 2008, and it quickly became a viral meme. Now both stars have repeatedly been asked about the comment, and they can't seem to decide whether they like each other or not. In 2014, Jennifer appeared on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, and during a game of Plead the Fifth, she was asked about where her relationship with Mariah stands. When Andy said, I've always heard there was a feud there, Jennifer responded, I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day I've read things she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met, like we don't know each other. I think it's kind of from word of mouth of things that have happened in the past that I'm not really aware of. She added, I would love to meet her and I would love to be friends with her. I think she's incredibly talented and I've always been a fan of hers. But that same year, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen about the feud, and she stood her ground reiterating, I don't know her, what am I supposed to say? Then this year, among JLo's drama with Ben Affleck and her failed tour, a source exclusively told In Touch, it's no secret that Mariah can't stand JLo. They've had a feud going back more than 20 years, so of course she's thrilled to see her ticket sales in the toilet, said the source. Mariah's never shy about trash talking JLo and always complains about how overrated and phony she is. She's happy the public is finally seeing it too. too. Seems like these two will never make up. Now, Rosie Perez used to work with J.Lo, and they met in 1991 during an open casting call for the Fly Girl dancers. Now, Rosie was the show's Fly Girl choreographer, and she claims that she was the one who convinced host and creator Keenan Ivory Wayans to pick J.Lo. Now, J.Lo made her debut in September 1991, but she really didn't get along with her fellow dancers. Rosie wrote about this in her 2014 memoir, revealing that hiring J.Lo was a mistake. All the girls were coming into my office complaining about how she was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me all to her advantage. Now, Rosie wrote in her memoir saying that Jen thought the girls were just jealous. She went on to say that J.Lo dropped her sweet girl act and went off on Rosie like some ghetto biatch, screaming and pounding her chest. Rosie claims she shouted, "You pick on me and only me, every effing day, every effing day. I work my ass off, deliver, and you keep pushing me aside, treating me like, shh, I know I'm good. I'm better than any of those girls and you know it." Now, J.Lo then left the show after 2 years, but she still made life difficult for Rosie as she talked crap about her. After being hurt by the alleged comments, Rosie was then surprised when J.Lo was friendly to her at a nightclub years later. Jennifer came over to me smiling, saying hello as if nothing had happened. I should have let it go, played it off too. Instead, I killed her with my biting tongue, Rosie wrote. But Rosie later explained to Piers Morgan that tabloids made a feud between them a major thing when it just wasn't. "I don't hate Jennifer Lopez, I have great respect for her," she said. "When I first saw her, I knew she was going to be a star. Yes, we had a tiff, and it was 20 years ago. It's unfortunate that the tabloids try to portray it as something that is current," she says. Regardless, Rosie had a past with J.Lo and wasn't afraid to call her out. Howard Stern has claimed many times on his radio show that he doesn't like J.Lo, her music, or how she's acted in her career. Now, because of this, Jennifer has avoided him, as when Howard first got the job as a judge on America's Got Talent, he tried to make his case by slamming other celebrity judges who, in his opinion, are more focused on advancing their own careers than doing the job they're hired to do. "I think a lot of the celebrity judges are not that good at judging, they're more interested in promoting their career," he said in a red carpet interview with HLN in 2012. "I was critical of American Idol J.Lo because I felt that she never said anything negative, let's say. And I felt like, well, it helped her career. She got very far, she suddenly got back on the charts, and the show was good for her. And it became more about J.Lo." Now, on top of this, Howard has reportedly bashed all of J.Lo's music. In 2011, Howard and his co-host Robin Quivers dissected her hit single On the Floor and repeatedly played the sound of Howard banging his head against the wall in time to the music. In 2016, Howard compared J.Lo's music to that of a homeless woman who sang a nonsensical song for his staffers. Then in 2019, he called out Jimmy Fallon for praising J.Lo's Super Bowl halftime show performance, and this doesn't even scratch the surface of how many times he's bashed her, so safe to say, he's not afraid of calling out the star. In early July 2003, Jennifer fired her manager Benny Medina. She accused him of violating California's Talent Agency Act, filed a petition accusing him of misappropriating her money, and sought millions in back commissions plus 10% interest, according to Billboard. It was said that Benny was not a licensed talent agent under the Labor Commissioner, a violation that entitles a performer to seek a refund for any payments to the acting talent agent up to a year before filing the petition. Now, in J.Lo's case, this amounted to 10% of earnings from movies and television, 15% of her music, recording and publishing earnings, and 10% of her earnings from other activities, including fashion and cosmetic interests. Benny denied the allegations, saying, "Jennifer Lopez, by making false allegations against me, is now trying to add me to the long list of people whom she has used and discarded after she took from them all she could get. I will defend myself against these lies and will collect from her every dollar which I am owed." Now, in the end, that December, it was reported that the dispute was settled quietly some time ago. Now, Jennifer later rehired Benny to revive her music career in 2005, and the two have remained friends and business partners ever since, but it just kinda seems off. Then there was the time J.Lo's makeup artist Scott Barnes was fired after being accused of leaking information to the press about J.Lo's marriage to Mark Anthony. During an interview on the Jeff Probst show, Scott set the record straight after rumors circulated that he and two others leaked plans of J.Lo and Anthony's secret marriage, and as a result, J.Lo's team shunned Scott. He said, "No one would talk to me, it was like I had the plague." Then, when the truth came out that Scott did not leak the news or even know about the wedding ahead of time, he he received a phone call from Jen, who Scott claims said the following. It was like, "Hey, it was a big misunderstanding. You know, we have a lot of stuff coming up and I really miss you, so let's just get back to work." Now, although Scott was very gracious about the whole thing, it appears that JLo did not apologize to him. Why he would go back to work for her, I have no clue, but at least he got the truth out that it was not him who leaked the news. And finally, we have JLo and Madonna. Now, their feud all began when Madonna was asked about who she thinks is the best female singer in the world, and she said Jennifer Lopez was a good actress, but couldn't sing. Then in a 1998 interview, Jennifer fired back at Madonna, saying she wasn't a good actor while promoting her film Out of Sight. When asked about Madonna's acting skills, JLo didn't hold back. "Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Now, after the interview was published, JLo regretted everything she said about her colleagues and said it was all a joke. But Madonna had already read the interview and reportedly felt disrespected, so there was no turning back. Then there was a New Year's Eve party hosted by Donatella Versace that year, which was attended by JLo, Madonna, and Christopher Saccone. Christopher explained that Ingrid Carasez, Madonna's closest friend, ran into the courtyard during the celebration and shouted, "JLo is here and we are not talking to her." He said everyone except for him and Donatella Versace gave Jennifer the cold shoulder. And honestly, I kinda think she deserves it. Now, since then, Madonna has made a couple digs towards JLo in the media, and their relationship is still rocky. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have filed for divorce, and Jen has finally spoken out. JLo posted an end of the summer photo dump on Instagram and captioned the post, "Oh, it was a summer," and yes, it was for her. Among the photos, which included a snap of the singer posing with her sister Linda Lopez, was a quote that read, "Everything is unfolding in divine order." Another photo showed JLo wearing a shirt that reads, "She's in bloom and unbothered, out of reach and at peace." Now, is this subtle shade towards Ben? Absolutely. Now, this is the first time that JLo has spoken out since the divorce has been official. She wouldn't even talk about speculation in the past. When she was in Mexico City on May 22nd promoting her new film Atlas, someone asked her if she and Ben were divorcing. However, her co-star Simu Liu quickly shut down the question. In the video, the two co-stars are seen on stage with microphones in their hands when JLo directs her attention to someone off camera. "You divorcing Ben Affleck is real?" the person asks, as the audience audibly makes their disapproval of the question unknown. While JLo smiles, her co-star instantly interjects, "Okay, we're not doing that." Now, Jen is still smiling, looking at Simu, who appears to end the interview by saying, "Thank you so much, guys, we really appreciate it." Now, after a moment, JLo responds saying, "You know better than that," and gives a death stare. Then there was the fact that she made some cryptic posts as well. She liked a post that raised some eyebrows, as the post in question read, "You cannot build a healthy relationship with somebody who lacks integrity and emotional safety, doesn't respect your time, doesn't think it's important to call text back in a respectable time frame, lacks effective communication skills, and doesn't know who they are or what they want." Now, if she liked this in relation to Ben, it's not the best thing, and I understand why they were going through marital troubles and eventually got divorced. Then there was the fact that she celebrated the anniversary of her Spanish song, Cambia El Paso. And while the song was released 3 years ago in 2021, the lyrics seemingly hold a deeper meaning now given the current state of her relationship with Ben. Jennifer shared a clip from the track's music video on Instagram while singing about a man who's undeserving of her love. She sings he doesn't deserve to have her in his arms, she knows that, she knows that. The intro begins, before launching into the first verse that reads, "Her life is better now without him, she knows that her hips don't fail her, she doesn't need anyone to be well, she doesn't fail, she doesn't fail." Yeah, the timing of that post was a little suspicious to say the least. Now, ahead of their divorce, JLo and Ben sparked breakup speculations as they appeared to spend more time apart. Us Weekly confirmed in May that Ben moved out of their shared Los Angeles home into a private home in Brentwood. In July, a second insider told us that the pair were doing their own thing as they navigated their next steps. Now, Jennifer suggested that they take time to figure it out, the source added, while a third insider pointed out that Jen and Ben were going through so much individually and as a couple. Now, Jen had been in the Hamptons, New York throughout this summer, including the couple's second wedding anniversary and her 55th Bridgerton-themed birthday party. Now, on the same day as JLo's birthday celebrations, Ben was seen in Los Angeles without his wedding ring. JLo then told fans that they're her biggest gift on her birthday besides her friends and family, which includes her 16-year-old twins who she shares with her ex-husband, Mark Anthony. "You've always been there for me in the good times and the tough times," her message continued. "I can always count on you, and I want you to know that you can always count on me. Thank you for your caring, your understanding, your loyalty, and most importantly, your love." Now, it's been said that Ben and Jen had gone through all the details of their split before she legally filed for divorce, a source exclusively told Us Weekly. They had already agreed to these terms before she filed, the insider explained about the couple's planned split after 2 years of marriage. JLo finally pulled the trigger because that was their agreement that she would file, and she was the one who ultimately made the decision. Now, the biggest financial hurdle for the former couple is their shared Beverly Hills home, which they purchased together in May 2023 that's up for sale. "There's nothing really else to divide," adds the insider about the property. "One person doesn't want more than the other, they both came in with significant assets of their own." Now, JLo waived spousal support and asked the judge to deny Ben's support when she filed for divorce on Tuesday, August 20th in the Los Angeles County Court after 2 years of marriage. According to documents obtained by Us, JLo filed pro per, meaning by herself without an attorney, and listed the date of separation as April 26, 2024. In addition, she petitioned to drop Affleck from her last name and cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. Now, fans speculated that something was going on with the pair back in April, as they hadn't been seen together, and it was said that their house was for sale. It turns out that pretty much all the rumors were true, and this divorce is probably the reason why JLo canceled her world tour. Now, JLo sent a special message to her fans via her On the JLo newsletter, telling them of canceling the tour. "I am completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary," she said. "I promise I will make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." Now, representatives for Live Nation announced that the summer tour, This Is Me Live, was cancelled, saying in a statement, "Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends." Now, this makes sense though. I mean, who would want to go on a tour and sing songs about their freshly new ex-husband? Plus, her album didn't sell well, and not a lot of tickets were selling for her tour. Now, it made a lot of sense to cancel it, but at the time, it just added fuel to the rumors of a divorce. Now, 2 weeks after filing the divorce, JLo and Ben are adjusting to their new chapters. Amidst reports that JLo didn't want to break up with her husband of 2 years, she is reportedly focusing on the positives as she navigates her post-split life. A source close to her reportedly told People that she's looking forward and choosing to have a positive outlook despite having some residual bitterness about how their marriage ended. She still feels very fortunate, the source told the publication about her mindset after she filed for divorce on the second anniversary of the couple's Georgia wedding. "She's surrounded by family, friends, and her kids," the source said. "She always manages to have a positive outlook." While sources previously told the publication that the star seemed relieved filing for divorce after she and Ben spent the summer on opposite coasts, they said that JLo still feels some resentment towards her husband for giving up on their relationship when they encountered some issues. "She tries so hard to make things work and it didn't matter to Ben," the source added, saying that Jen felt some bitterness about the split. However, while the divorce is difficult for her, Lopez is leaving the past behind her. She always finds a way to move forward, they said. Now, similarly, a Ben source said that he's doing well and moving on now that the couple have officially called their marriage quits. In addition to slowly moving into his new home, Ben is reportedly spending time with his family and focusing on work. He's where he needs to be, close to his kids, and in a neighborhood that he loves, the source said. He enjoys working too and is very focused on the positives. Now, recently, Ben has been spotted with Kit Kennedy, who is JFK's grandniece. Sources say she was seen with Ben at the Polo Lounge in the Beverly Hills Hotel and other trendy spots. As for how Ben and Kit know each other, or if they're more than friends, it remains unclear. The New York Post admits the nature of their relationship is uncertain, and neither has commented. So for now, it's a case of wait and see. Now, despite this, Ben has also been frequently frequently spotted with his ex and their kids. Ben was once married to Jennifer Garner, but they got a divorce due to Ben's cheating and alcohol addiction. So this isn't going to be his first divorce. By the sounds of things, both parties are moving on in a healthy way, and hopefully the division of assets between the two will go smoothly and they can put all this drama behind them. Apparently there are rumors going around that Ben cheated on Jen, and that could have been the reason for the downfall of their relationship. Ben has been spending time with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s 36-year-old daughter, Kit Kennedy, amid his divorce from J.Lo. A Hollywood insider tells Page 6 that they've been spotted at the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel and other hotspots. Now, the nature of their relationship remains unclear, as Kit declined to comment, while Ben's reps did not immediately respond to Page 6's request. Now, these sightings have definitely raised eyebrows, especially after J.Lo's reason for the filing became public. Now, J.Lo waived spousal support and asked the judge to deny Ben's support when she filed for divorce on Tuesday, August 20th in the Los Angeles County Court after 2 years of marriage. According to documents obtained by us, J.Lo filed pro per, meaning herself without an attorney, and listed the date of separation as August 26, 2024. Now, in addition, she petitioned to drop Affleck from her last name and cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for their split. Now, sources have told the New York Post that the breakup has also affected J.Lo's kids, Max and Emmy, as Ben has not been in contact with them. So is it possible that he cheated and now the kids hate him? That is very possible. Now, would it be shocking if Ben cheated? No, not really, as he's cheated in the past in other relationships. You see, Ben and Jennifer Garner started a relationship and got married in 2005. They had 3 children and likely had a perfect family until their nanny, Christine Ozorian, claimed that she and Ben had an affair. In 2015, sources told Page 6 amid reports of Ben's gambling and alleged cheating with other women that Jennifer and Ben had drifted apart and he had been in professional therapy for years. Now, the split was announced the day after their 10th wedding anniversary and they finalized their divorce in 2018 but remained on good terms. Now, of course, Ben denied the rumors, with a rep for Ben saying the story was complete garbage and full of lies. However, later in a conversation with Vanity Fair, Jennifer Garner confirmed that yes, Ben had an affair with their nanny. She said that there were lots of reasons for the split, but this was definitely not something you can ignore. She then went on to say, "It's not great for your kids for a nanny to disappear from their lives. I've had to have conversations with my children about the meaning of scandal," she said. Now, in the same interview, the actress also noted that no one needs to hate him for me. I don't hate him. Certainly we don't have to beat the guy up. Don't worry, my eyes were wide open during the marriage. So yeah, it wouldn't be a surprise to most people if he was cheating again. And I mean, I think it was pretty clear that Ben was not happy in his relationship with J.Lo. First, there were the rules that she had for him. Now, Jen is particularly wary of female flight attendants, as her ex Mark Anthony cheated on her with one, so Ben was banned from being on a plane with female flight attendants. And then, before the pair got married, she allegedly declared that the actor had to be in the best physical shape. Now, after the couple rekindled their relationship, Jennifer put Ben on a strict diet and workout regimen. When they first started dating, Ben was up at 5 a.m. hitting the gym with J.Lo, a source revealed. He had stopped doing that now, and J.Lo told him that that was unacceptable. She expects him to pick up the slack and wants him working out every day and eating right, no excuses, a source told The Star. Another rule that Jennifer has, it has to do when it comes to Ben's drinking. Now, Jennifer is not a fan of drinking and smoking and has always had a 3 drinks per day limit regarding alcohol, but it was reported that the rule has changed completely to no drinks due to Ben's past addiction to alcohol. Now, honestly, I feel like this is a pretty good rule, but the other rules are super controlling, but this one makes a lot of sense. Now, these and the other rules she had for him were really demanding, and with having his behavior controlled like this, I could see why he would want to step out of the marriage, but at that point, he just should have gotten a divorce. Now, it seems like Jen was always a little suspicious of Ben, as when the pair first came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table. It was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected their relationship from infidelity. The contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money, except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. But the two never made it to the altar, so the alleged prenup never had to take effect. But now it's been claimed by OK Magazine that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. So we'll just have to wait and see how the money situation works out between the pair. Now, just a few months before rumors of a split, Ben shared insight into his and Jennifer's very different approaches to privacy during her documentary of her new album that she wrote that she was inspired by Ben with. I had a very firm sense of boundaries initially around the press, while Jen, I don't think, objected to it in the way I did. Expressing how the massive amount of scrutiny they faced was a catalyst for the end of their engagement in the early days, Ben said he wanted to keep details of their private life more, well, private, after they rekindled their romance in 2021. Getting back together, I said, "Listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media," he added. And then I sort of realized that's not a fair thing to ask. It's sort of like you're gonna marry a boat captain and you go, "Well, I don't like the water." We're just two people with kind of different approaches trying to learn to compromise. Now, Page Six even reported in 2022 that Ben freaked out on their honeymoon in Paris due to the paparazzi bringing about flashbacks of why their relationship ended, the pressure of the media spotlight. He has never and seemingly will never give himself over completely to another person, they add. The kind of big love Jennifer believes in a sort of all-consuming devotion. Ben played along for a while and wanted to be a part of it, but it's just not who he is, the insider explains. But then J.Lo exposed their relationship even more, as in the documentary Jen said, "This book is a book Ben gave me on our first Christmas back together. It's every letter and every mail that we wrote each other from 20 years ago to today." Now, she highlighted one note that read, "The Greatest Love Story Never Told" by Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, 2001 to 2010 and counting. The couple got engaged at the end of 2002 but broke it off a year before calling it quits on their relationship for good in 2004. In the documentary, J.Lo also recognized Ben's unease about being in the public eye as a couple, especially given the intense media scrutiny they faced the first time around. "I don't think Ben is very comfortable with me doing all this," she said, "but he loves me, he knows I'm an artist, and he's gonna support me every way he can, because he knows you can't stop me from making the music, but that doesn't mean he's comfortable being the muse." Now, in the doc, Ben even made it known that he was uncomfortable. He said, "I did really find the beauty in poetry and the irony in the fact that it's the greatest love story never told. If you're making a record about it, that kinda seems like telling it." Now, Ben has also been open about his addiction to alcohol, as he first checked into a rehab facility in 2001, completing a 30-day residential rehabilitation program for alcohol abuse. He sought treatment for alcoholism on several occasions in the years since, getting professional help in 2008, 2017, and again in 2018 after his divorce from Jennifer Garner was finalized. Now, he briefly relapsed in 2019, but said he wouldn't let it derail him, admitting, "It happens, it's a slip." Now, that same year, the actor acknowledged that being an alcoholic is something that he deals with on a daily basis, saying, "It doesn't have to subsume my whole identity and be everything, but it's something that you have to work at." Now, since Ben's addiction has played out so publicly, it's become unfortunately common for fans to speculate about his health, particularly after he married J.Lo. For example, a video clip of Jennifer and Ben having a seemingly tense conversation at the premiere of her movie Shotgun Wedding went viral in January after fans suspected the pair were arguing over Ben's drinking. Now, the latter half of their relationship just brought up a lot of questions, since they were not spotted together and seemed to be avoiding each other as Ben moved out of their house. Then there was the rumors of divorce, and now it's official, but with rumors of Ben cheating, it's gotten even messier. It's official. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have filed for divorce. You heard that right. Benifer is over. Now, maybe we can stop paying attention to them so much. In an article posted yesterday, sources claim that the couple are once again pushing ahead with divorce after a final attempt at reconciliation in the recent weeks failed. Now, the couple's divorce documents are finalized but not turned in yet, multiple sources have claimed. They finalized the divorce papers with her a month ago, but they are waiting for the right time to drop them, one source close to the duo claimed. At that time, they will release a joint statement that will say how they have much love for each other and how they fought to make it work but couldn't. Now, as you may know, in May, Ben moved out of their joint mansion in Beverly Hills and moved into a rental in Brentwood close to his ex-wife Jennifer Garner. It was then reported that Ben and JLo were selling their $60 million mansion, but just this week, Ben bought a new $20.5 million bachelor pad mansion on JLo's birthday. Now, the day after he purchased this house, the Beverly Hills house went on sale publicly for $68 million. The couple, who purchased the 12-bedroom, 24-bathroom home for $60,850,000 in May 2023, initially attempted to sell the property off-market, but clearly that didn't work out. Now, JLo celebrated her birthday with friends and family last week, but Ben was nowhere to be found. Jen posted a photo of her celebrating and captioned the post, "I've been seeing all of your birthday wishes, beautiful videos, and posts all last night and this morning from all over the world." She began with her caption, "I have laughed, smiled, shed some tears. I really do have the best, most amazing fans in the world. I can never express how moved I am or how incredibly blessed I feel to have all of you be a part of my life." She continued by saying, "It's hard to believe we have spent all this time together. It's funny, as I sit here contemplating on the most extraordinary journey, I still feel like the same girl starting out, so full of energy and bravado, so ready to take on the whole world outside, and yet so tender, fragile, and sometimes frightened, but always full of love on the inside." She then told her fans that they're her biggest gift on her birthday besides her friends and family, which includes her 16-year-old twins, whom she shares with her ex-husband Mark Anthony. "You've always been there for me in the good times and in the tough times." Now, a source recently told People that her summer isn't exactly what she originally had planned, but she's making the best of it. "She's always been grateful for family time," the source said. "She had a great weekend with family and friends. She loves entertaining and enjoyed her birthday bash. She was in a happy mood." Now, the couple, Jen and Ben, haven't actually been spotted in public together for a while. The last time they were spotted together, the couple, joined by Ben's mom, were supporting the actor's son Samuel at his basketball game. Now, as the pair walked in, Jen leaned forward to give Ben a slightly forced-looking kiss on the cheek, and Ben appeared to tense up, and it didn't look like he enjoyed it at all. Ben put his hand around JLo, but his hand never made fully contact with her lower back. Now, it also seemed like he may have dodged a full-on kiss on the lips based on the off-kilter nature of his embrace. Now, as they walked up the steps of the venue, Ben stayed at least 5 feet apart from JLo, who ventured ahead. Ben then took a moment to speak to his mom, looking more at ease before waving his hand at photographers, and then they all went inside. Now, people noticed their absence from each other's lives when Ben did not attend the Met Gala, which Jennifer was a co-chair of, or when they didn't spend Mother's Day together. Now, Jennifer even canceled her world tour to spend times with friends and family, but she and Ben have since spent the summer apart. Jennifer has largely lived on the East Coast and traveled around the world, while Ben remained at home in Los Angeles. Now, JLo sent a special message to her fans via her On the JLo newsletter, telling them of her canceling the tour. "I'm completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary. I promise I will make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." Now, representatives for Live Nation announced that the summer tour, This Is Me Live, was cancelled, saying in a statement, "Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends." Now, sources insisted that pulling the plug was not due to poor ticket sales, but rather for personal reasons and wanting to be with her kids. This tour was in support of her latest studio album, This Is Me Now, which was released in February. But now Ticketmaster is automatically refunding fans who purchased tickets through their website. JLo first announced the tour in the middle of February, initially as the This Is Me Now tour, and a week later 3 shows were added, but then the name of the tour was mysteriously rebranded in April. It had initially been called This Is Me Now after her latest album, in which she sang about her journey to a rekindled love with Ben. In March, though, she raised some eyebrows when she and her team decided to cancel 7 shows from her tour without any explanation. Now, the tour's name had changed to This Is Me Live: The Greatest Hits. Now, not to mention, her new album debuted at a disappointing 38 on the Billboard 200. Regardless, it just didn't seem like she'd want to sing those songs about Ben anyways, so it makes sense that she would cancel. Then, of course, there were issues with their marriage. It said that J.Lo was trying to convince Ben to have a child with her, and that she had some insane rules about his diet, what women he could talk to, and their life. It seemed like J.Lo was very controlling, and that wasn't something Ben wanted. There was also the fact that Jen created an entire album, movie, and documentary about private love letters Ben wrote to her. She didn't tell Ben about it, and he was shocked and uncomfortable because he is a very private person. Privacy is a part of the reason why they broke up in the early 2000s, because they got so much media attention and J.Lo ate it up, while Ben wanted to hide from all of it. Now, things are not looking good for the couple, as a source from Radar Online said that J.Lo wants half of Ben's nearly $150 million fortune, even though herself is worth much more, about $400 million. Now, she sees this move as a way for her to get back at him, claiming that she handled more of the financial responsibilities during their short-lived marriage. A person with knowledge of the matter suggests that Jennifer spent more money during their brief period together. The insider alleges J.Lo, who recently canceled her expensive Los Angeles residency, took on the majority of the financial responsibility. They depict Ben as a huge cheapskate who constantly complained about Lopez's spending habits. Now, apparently, to avoid his grumbling, Jen covered most expenses to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. One of the little-known secrets is that Jennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes her, the source claimed. She's adding up all those private jet bills she puts on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for the $60 million mansion they bought too, they added. Ben took so much money out of her, at least that's what she's saying. Now, she can take some money from him too if she wants to, because they didn't get a prenup, which was a big mistake. OK Magazine said that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. Rumor has it that this wasn't the case in the first phase of their relationship. When the pair came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table, and it was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected their relationship from infidelity. The contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. I guess it's a matter of time for when they decide to submit the paperwork, but I mean, what are they waiting for? It seems like Benifer is finally over, and everyone who said they wouldn't last were right. It's official. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have filed for divorce. You heard that right. Benifer is over. Now, maybe we can stop paying attention to them so much. In an article posted yesterday, sources claim that the couple are once again pushing ahead with divorce after a final attempt at reconciliation in the recent weeks failed. Now, the couple's divorce documents are finalized but not turned in yet, multiple sources have claimed. They finalized the divorce papers with her a month ago, but they are waiting for the right time to drop them, one source close to the duo claimed. At that time, they will release a joint statement that will say how they have much love for each other and how they fought to make it work but couldn't. Now, as you may know, in May, Ben moved out of their joint mansion in Beverly Hills and moved into a rental in Brentwood close to his ex-wife Jennifer Gardner. It was then reported that Ben and J.Lo were selling their $60 million mansion, but just this week, Ben bought a new $20.5 million bachelor pad mansion on J.Lo's birthday. Now, the day after he purchased this house, the Beverly Hills house went on sale publicly for $68 million. The couple, who purchased the 12-bedroom, 24-bathroom home for $60,850,000 in May 2023, initially attempted to sell the property off-market, but clearly that didn't work out. Now, J.Lo celebrated her birthday with friends and family last week, but Ben was nowhere to be found. Jen posted a photo of her celebrating and captioned the post, "I've been seeing all of your birthday wishes, beautiful videos, and posts all last night and this morning from all over the world." She began with her caption, "I have laughed, smiled, shed some tears. I really do have the best, most amazing fans in the world. I can never express how moved I am or how incredibly blessed I feel to have all of you be a part of my life." She continued by saying, "It's hard to believe we have spent all this time together. It's funny, as I sit here contemplating on the most extraordinary journey, I still feel like the same girl starting out, so full of energy and bravado, so ready to take on the whole world outside, and yet so tender, fragile, and sometimes frightened, but always full of love on the inside." She then told her her fans that they're her biggest gift on her birthday besides her friends and family, which includes her 16-year-old twins whom she shares with her ex-husband Mark Anthony. "You've always been there for me in the good times and in the tough times." Now, a source recently told People that her summer isn't exactly what she originally had planned, but she's making the best of it. "She's always been grateful for family time," the source said. "She had a great weekend with family and friends. She loves entertaining and enjoyed her birthday bash. She was in a happy mood." Now, the couple, Jen and Ben, haven't actually been spotted in public together for a while. The last time they were spotted together, the couple, joined by Ben's mom, were supporting the actor's son Samuel at his basketball game. Now, as the pair walked in, Jen leaned forward to give Ben a slightly forced-looking kiss on the cheek, and Ben appeared to tense up, and it didn't look like he enjoyed it at all. Ben put his hand around J-Lo, but his hand never made fully contact with her lower back. Now, it also seemed like he may have dodged a full-on kiss on the lips based on the off-kilter nature of his embrace. Now, as they walked up the steps of the venue, Ben stayed at least 5 feet apart from J-Lo, who ventured ahead. Ben then took a moment to speak to his mom, looking more at ease before waving his hand at photographers, and then they all went inside. Now, people noticed their absence from each other's lives when Ben did not attend the Met Gala, which Jennifer was a co-chair of, or when they didn't spend Mother's Day together. Now, Jennifer even canceled her world tour to spend time with friends and family, but she and Ben have since spent the summer apart. Jennifer has largely lived on the East Coast and traveled around the world, while Ben remained at home in Los Angeles. Now, J-Lo sent a special message to her fans via her On the J-Lo newsletter, telling them of her canceling the tour. "I'm completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary. I promise I will make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." Now, representatives for Live Nation announced that the summer tour, This Is Me Live, was cancelled, saying in a statement, "Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends." Now, sources insisted that pulling the plug was not due to poor ticket sales, but rather for personal reasons and wanting to be with her kids. This tour was in support of her latest studio album, This Is Me Now, which was released in February. But now Ticketmaster is automatically refunding fans who purchased tickets through their website. J-Lo first announced the tour in the middle of February, initially as the This Is Me Now tour, and a week later 3 shows were added, but then the name of the tour was mysteriously rebranded in April. It had initially been called This Is Me Now after her latest album, in which she sang about her journey to a rekindled love with Ben. In March, though, she raised some eyebrows when she and her team decided to cancel 7 shows from her tour without any explanation. Now, the tour's name had changed to This Is Me Live: The Greatest Hits. Now, not to mention, her new album debuted at a disappointing 38 on the Billboard 200. Regardless, it just didn't seem like she'd want to sing those songs about Ben anyways, so it makes sense that she would cancel. Then, of course, there were issues with their marriage. It said that J-Lo was trying to convince Ben to have a child with her, and that she had some insane rules about his diet, what women he could talk to, and their life. It seemed like J-Lo was very controlling, and that wasn't something Ben wanted. There was also the fact that Jen created an entire album, movie, and documentary about private love letters Ben wrote to her. She didn't tell Ben about it, and he was shocked and uncomfortable because he is a very private person. Privacy is a part of the reason why they broke up in the early 2000s, because they got so much media attention and J-Lo ate it up, while Ben wanted to hide from all of it. Now, things are not looking good for the couple, as a source from Radar Online said that J-Lo wants half of Ben's nearly $150 million fortune, even though herself is worth much more, about $400 million. Now, she sees this move as a way for her to get back at him, claiming that she handled more of the financial responsibilities during their short-lived marriage. A person with knowledge of the matter suggests that Jennifer spent more money during their brief period together. The insider alleges J-Lo, who recently canceled her expensive Los Angeles residency, took on the majority of the financial responsibility. They depict Ben as a huge cheapskate who constantly complained about Lopez's spending habits. Now, apparently, to avoid his grumbling, Jen covered most expenses to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. One of the little-known secrets is that Jennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes owes her, the source claimed. She's adding up all those private jet bills she puts on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for the $60 million mansion they bought too, they added. Ben took so much money out of her, at least that's what she's saying. Now, she can take some money from him too if she wants to because they didn't get a prenup, which was a big mistake. OK Magazine said that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. Rumor has it that this wasn't the case in the first phase of their relationship. When the pair came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table, and it was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected their relationship from infidelity. The contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. I guess it's a matter of time for when they decide to submit the paperwork, but I mean, what are they waiting for? It seems like Benifer is finally over, and everyone who said they wouldn't last were right. J-Lo is apparently trying to take half of Ben Affleck's net worth, even though she has double the money he has. Now, the pair have been going through a rough patch the last couple of months with rumors of them divorcing. It's said that Ben hates J-Lo, and listen, we can't blame him. Now, recently it's been revealed that J-Lo is trying to take half of Ben's fortune. Jen and Ben are living separately now that their shared mansion in Beverly Hills is back on the market. Ben, who's starring in The Accountant 2, is renting a place in Brentwood near his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, and their kids. Meanwhile, Jen is staying in her LA home with her children Max and Emmy. According to a source from Radar Online, J-Lo wants half of Ben's nearly $150 million fortune, even though she herself has much more, which is about $400 million. The insider alleges that J-Lo, who recently canceled her expensive Los Angeles residency, took on the majority of the financial responsibility. Now, they depict Ben as a huge cheapskate who constantly complained about J-Lo's spending habits. Now, apparently, to avoid his grumbling, Jen covered most expenses to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. One of the little-known secrets is that Jennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes her, the source claimed. She's adding up all those private jet bills she put on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for that $60 million mansion they bought too, they added. Ben took so much money out of her, at least that's what she's saying. Now, she can take some money from him if she wants because they didn't get a prenup, which is a big mistake. Now, OK Magazine said that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. Now, rumor has it that wasn't the case in the first phase of their relationship. When the pair first came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table. It was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected the relationship from infidelity. Now, the contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money, except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. But the two never made it to the altar, so the alleged prenup never had to take effect. But now I'm sure that Ben is wishing there was one right now. A source said Jen and Ben have been living separate lives but have not officially separated yet about Benifer's relationship status. At this point, they're just doing their own thing. They went into their relationship very optimistic that things could change, but they haven't. Now, one of the biggest reasons for their breakup in the early 2000s was the media attention. Now, history has repeated itself because it seems to be one of the reasons why this relationship isn't working out and why Ben resents Jennifer. Ben likes his privacy while Jen likes to go all out and show it off to the world. Now, we saw how uncomfortable this made Ben in Jen's documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. When Ben pops up in the doc, it's often to express concern that his private love story is becoming used for something he didn't particularly want. Now, the doc is actually named after a scrapbook that Ben gifted Jennifer for Christmas in 2021, stacked with every letter and email they'd written to each other over the last 20 years. Now, Jennifer showed the book to her producers and songwriters on the first day of making her new album without asking or telling Ben. Now, this revelation comes within the first 5 minutes of the doc, and right out of the gate, Ben isn't shy about his discomfort. He's shocked that Jennifer would share something so personal with her collaborators, and now, of course, with the world. Ben chalked it up to artistic inspiration and said that J-Lo's style was just an adjustment for him. He said, "When Jen and I broke up before, the catalyst for that was this massive amount of scrutiny around our private life. I had a very firm sense of boundaries around the press, while Jen, I don't think, objected to it the way I did." Still though, he was optimistic this time around, and for a while, Ben got swept up in it. But her obsession with the limelight and the need to parade their love all around didn't really sit right with Ben after a while. Not to mention that Jennifer exposed his private love letters to her. Now later in the documentary, Jen acknowledged that she's aware of Ben's discomfort, but didn't seem willing to do much to improve things for him. "I don't think Ben is very comfortable with me doing all of this," she said. "But he loves me, he knows I'm an artist, and he's gonna support me in every way he can because he knows you can't stop me from making my music." Now it seems like Jen doesn't really want to change her ways, which is why their relationship ended in the first place. Now Jen and Ben first met on the set of the 2003 rom-com Geely. Now at the time, J-Lo was still married to her second husband, her dancer Chris Judd, and J-Lo and Ben then went public with their relationship soon after her divorce from Chris. In November 2002, J-Lo confirmed that they were engaged in an interview with Diane Sawyer. "It's the most magnificent thing I've ever seen," she said of the 6.1 carat pink diamond from Harry Winston that Ben gave her. Now the ring reportedly cost him $2.5 million. Then in September 2003 though, they postponed their wedding. 2 days before the two were set to officially tie the knot, they released a joint statement announcing the ceremony's postponement. They said, "Due to the excessive media attention surrounding our wedding, we have decided to postpone the date. When we found ourselves seriously contemplating hiring 3 separate decoy brides at 3 different locations, we realized that something was awry. We began to feel that the spirit of what should have been the happiest day of our lives could be compromised. We felt what should have been a joyful and sacred day could be spoiled for us, our families, and our friends." Then on January 22nd, 2024, the two ended their engagement. J-Lo confirmed the sad news through her spokesperson. "I'm confirming the report that Jennifer Lopez has ended her engagement to Ben Affleck," the statement said at the time. "At this difficult time, we ask you to respect her privacy." Now, not to mention, right now, J-Lo is posting cryptic things to her social media accounts, which just has more people talking and speculating. Now, she liked a post that raised some eyebrows, as the post in question reads, "You cannot build a healthy relationship with somebody who, among other things, lacks integrity and emotional safety, doesn't respect your time, doesn't think it's important to call text back in a respectable time frame, lacks effective communication skills, and doesn't know who they are or what they want." Now, if she liked this in relation to Ben, that's not the best thing, and I understand why they'd be going through marital troubles. Then there was the fact that she celebrated the anniversary of her Spanish song Cambia El Paso. While the song was released 3 years ago in 2021, the lyrics seemingly hold a deeper meaning now given the current state of her relationship with Ben. On Sunday, Jennifer shared a clip from the track's music video on Instagram while singing about a man who's undeserving of her love. "She knows that, the intro begins, before launching into the first verse that reads, "Her life is better now without him, she knows that her hips don't fail her, she doesn't need anyone to be well, she doesn't fail, she doesn't fail." Yeah, the timing of that post is a little bit suspicious. Now, not to mention that it's been leaked that J-Lo has some truly insane rules that she makes Ben follow. Now, Ben has been open about his addiction to alcohol, as he first checked into a rehab facility in 2001, completing a 30-day residential rehabilitation program. He has sought treatment for alcoholism on several occasions in the years since, getting professional help in 2008, 2017, and again in 2018 after his divorce from Jennifer Garner was finalized. Now, he briefly relapsed in 2019, but said he wouldn't let it derail him, admitting, "It happens, it's a slip." Now, that same year, the actor acknowledged that being an alcoholic is something that he deals with on a daily basis. It's become unfortunately common for fans to speculate about his health, particularly after he married Jennifer Lopez. Now, for example, a clip of Jennifer and Ben having a seemingly tense conversation at the premiere of her movie Shotgun Wedding went viral in January after fans suspected that the pair were arguing over Ben's drinking, as Jen demanded to take a sip of his drink. Now, it appears that she didn't trust him, which I'm sure Ben didn't like. Now, also, female flight attendants are reportedly banned from her private planes. Now, according to reports, Jennifer was so angry after finding out her then husband Mark Anthony had an alleged fling with a flight attendant that she banned women from working on her private planes. She hates flight attendants because her ex-husband Mark Anthony had an affair with one when they were married, an anonymous source revealed. Now, several corporate flight attendants came forward and revealed that Jennifer does not allow female associates to work on their flights. J.Lo won't let a female flight attendant work. She brings her own male flight attendant, who is not a flight attendant but a personal assistant. Now, it was also reported that J.Lo demanded course 4 times a week from her husband, and Ben denied this and her other rules in a Vanity Fair interview, saying, "You can't legislate behavior, you've got to believe in the person and believe you can meet the challenges you face. Neither of us are stupid or naive. It would be nice if you could have the rules, but you just can't write it down." Why is Jennifer Lopez flopping so hard in 2024? Let's take a look at the 10 embarrassing moments that ruined her career. First up, almost no celebrities wanted to be in her movie. Now, in order for Jennifer to execute her musical film the way she envisioned the project, she had to front the budget herself. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she revealed that she self-financed the movie, which cost $20 million in total to produce. J.Lo also had a very hard time booking celebrity cameos. In one scene, the casting director tells her, "We sent out all the offers last night to everybody, and we're waiting to hear back from a few people, like Jane Fonda." A voice off camera then says Taylor Swift is a no, Jason Momoa is not available, Jennifer Coolidge not available, Lizzo not available. J.Lo then says it'd be good to get Bad Bunny to do a little cameo as the bad kid, but of course that never ended up happening. It must have been a red flag that all these big names were turning down her project, but she didn't seem too bothered by it. She said, "I don't want to force anybody to do this who doesn't go, this is going to be fun. Nobody wants to say no to me, Benny, I get that, but when an actor doesn't like a script or doesn't think it's good enough or is worried about it, that's what they'll say. I know that, I've done it." That then brings us to our next point, that she was caught lying in her documentary. Now, the project sparked controversy and backlash on TikTok, all because of the way Jennifer was talking about her upbringing in the Bronx. Now, in the documentary, Jennifer says the greatest love story never told is about facing the truth of who you really are. But that clip completely backfired when it went viral, as fans started accusing her of misrepresenting herself. Now, they see her as performative and insincere and accused her of exaggerating her working class background, as well as her connection to the Bronx. One super clip that inspired many mocking imitations showed Jennifer tousle her hair while looking into a mirror, reminiscing about her childhood. She says, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams." But even though she loves speaking about the Bronx, it's a place she actively avoids. And the reason we know that comes down to an awful ad campaign. The central premise of the ad was that sometimes J.Lo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Now, although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which has been a solid part of her image since the 90s. Now, in fact, she even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. A press release at the time stated that she'd be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But that ad backfired when it was reported that she never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in was used instead. Talk about faking it. Next, we have to talk about all the public fights. It's become pretty obvious that their marital bliss isn't quite as it seems, because there's now repeated incidents of Ben Affleck and Jennifer being caught arguing on camera. Now, the incident that occurred was shortly after Jennifer's Today interview, with the couple filmed having what looked like a tense argument at a fight for her new movie Shotgun Wedding. In a clip that quickly went viral on TikTok, J-Lo appears to taste Ben's drink and then looks at him sternly. She seems visibly upset with her husband as he tries to defend himself and repeatedly says, "Jen." He could also be seen yelling over the music that he did not drink anything. Now, it was theorized at the time that Ben is insisting that he hasn't been drinking alcohol and that she was tasting his drink to check in the video. Now, Ben has been open about his recovery from alcoholism and has been to rehab multiple times over the years, like in 2001, 2017, and 2018. Now, that video has been viewed around 2 million times so far, but surprisingly, most people seem to think that Jennifer is being unsupportive of Ben's struggles. Someone wrote, "They just seem exhausting. This marriage will never see 18 months. Another person commented, "It just looks like she doesn't trust him, picked up the drink to taste it. He's clearly upset." And there seems to be a lot of truth to that. Now let's talk about J-Lo's most embarrassing moment of all, when Ben slammed the car door in her face. Now, the couple went viral once again while running errands in Santa Monica. Video captured of that moment shows Ben looking upset while walking to his car. He then opens the car door for Jennifer so she can get in, but once she's inside, he pretty much slams it shut. Now, when that moment was shared on Twitter, everyone started guessing why he was so angry. Was it because they had gotten into an argument, or was it something else? One person wrote, "Maybe he's just irritated because someone is recording him. I imagine that would get very old." Another person wrote, "I'm sure he's just annoyed at people pointing their phones at them while they're trying to do normal stuff." Now, considering that J-Lo and Ben are one of the most recognizable people in the world, there's bound to be paparazzi following them around all day. Now, it's really no wonder that he feels frustrated, and maybe that's why he's been seen in such a dark mood recently. Moving on to the embarrassing feud with her makeup artist. Scott Barnes, who's worked for J-Lo for the past 20 years, has had to deal with so much of her crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, she essentially banished him after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Mark Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Now, speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, and when asked about how J-Lo treated him, Scott said, quote, "It was like I had the plague." Interestingly enough, eventually she ended up giving him his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, quote, "I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again, which is even weirder." The funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remain on good terms, despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize. On to the feud with Shakira. J-Lo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. She said, "If it's gonna be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes, that's what they should have effing done." Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time, as opposed to doubling it and giving the woman extra time to shine. Now, as a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the woman for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What J-Lo was really mad about, though, is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform. But judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they asked her to share the stage at all. Next up, we have the music theft. It's no secret that Jennifer Lopez has been accused of stealing or borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. One of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that J-Lo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, "I hate it, but I better get some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect J-Lo to just take it." And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, J-Lo was also given songs that were initially intended for Ashanti, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September of 2021, J.Lo released I'm Real from her second studio album that she worked with Irv Gotti. But the song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you still hear her background vocals in Jennifer's version. Moving on to the cheating allegation. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on-again, off-again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Benifer. Now, I mean, these two just got married last year after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago. But the timeline of this relationship is a huge red flag and included alleged cheating. So in July of 2002, J.Lo filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after J.Lo had wrapped the movie Gilgy alongside her then boyfriend, Ben. Now, even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter, gushing about Jennifer before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accusing J.Lo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Gilgy. I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer, and added that she'd be happier if she'd tell the truth and that no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing to her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. And lastly, we have that humiliating interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined J.Lo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time, fresh off the success of her film Selena. Now, she basically decided to trash all other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career and contributions to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Now, it was so ironic because J.Lo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Now, at the time, Madonna had been a star for longer than J.Lo, so there was really no comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously by saying, "Tell me what she's been in, I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." Yikes.
The camera loves J.Lo, but she does not seem to love the camera. Here are the top 10 times Jennifer Lopez was caught being rude on camera. J.Lo is being slammed online for her behavior in an interview on the Met Gala steps. J.Lo was a co-chair for the 2024 Met Gala and wore an eye-catching beaded Schiaparelli gown to the charity event. She was seen smiling and posing on the carpet, but not everyone received that megawatt smile. TikToker Annika Reed was present at the Met as an interviewer on the side. She was up close and personal with the stars and got some great shots of the celebs as they ascended the carpet. She was also close enough to ask celebs questions as they were heading up. And it seems not everyone was happy about that. As J.Lo was making her way past Reed, Reed shouted, "Who are you wearing tonight?" Pretty standard red carpet question, but J.Lo appeared less than impressed. With only a glance over, J.Lo responds with a quick Schiaparelli before continuing up. When Reed posted the video to her TikTok, the caption suggests she didn't mind J.Lo's response, but the comment section sure did. Many people calling J.Lo out for being rude. One person saying Reed receiving a rude J.Lo interaction was the J.Lo experience. Another person writing, "Ew, why she have that attitude?" In comparison to other celebs who met Reed's questions with big smiles and the occasional full-length interview, J.Lo's reaction does make her appear as the outlier. The Met Gala isn't the first major event where J.Lo was criticized for her actions on the carpet. Glam bots have increased in popularity over the years for good reason. They are the perfect way to showcase a celeb's look and almost always make people look amazing. A glam bot of J.Lo was posted for her birthday in 2022, but the video did not garner the response the poster probably hoped for. In the video, we can see Cole, the person who runs the glam bot, explaining to Jennifer as she walks up what is going to happen with the camera, just how it all works basically. Jennifer appears to be uninterested in what he's saying or distracted. From other people talking about red carpets, we know that they are pretty fast paced, kind of like go go go. So maybe J.Lo really had somewhere to be, or there was a big lineup so she was trying to keep a schedule. We never will know. The ending of the video does not paint her in the best light. As part of her glam bot, the singer's movements involved taking a step to the side, and then that step turned into her walking off. It's not shown if she said goodbye to Cole or anyone else working on the glam bots, but it doesn't appear that way. So naturally, people are pretty upset about it and leaving their thoughts in the comment section. One person writing, "She doesn't look very friendly." Another commenting, "Not her immediately walking away." Cole did film a glam bot behind the scenes for this particular video where he explained the situation, saying they had very limited time, about 30 seconds, and he wasn't expecting to see J-Lo, so it was an in and out kind of situation. Back in October of 2023, J-Lo was photographed throwing up a rude gesture to paparazzi. The singer was photographed out with her husband Ben Affleck in the morning, and she was not very happy about it. Like many people online said though, can you blame her? She just wanted to head out for a quick breakfast with her husband and was instead hounded by cameras. Expressing her frustration, J-Lo threw up her middle finger at the paparazzi with a tight-lipped half smile. The photo went viral online and the response was half and half. Some people said she was being rude and the behavior was unacceptable. Others were more forgiving towards the star, bringing up that even Hollywood stars deserve privacy and are real people too. It's unclear if J-Lo was prompted to do the action just because of the situation, or if something happened or was said to cause it. Jennifer Lopez attended the Grammys with new husband Ben Affleck in 2023, and the two were caught on camera looking less than pleased with each other. The X account Chicks in the Office posted a video of the couple with the caption, "Someone please check on Ben Affleck." The video posted was about 30 seconds and it features host Trevor Noah sitting beside the couple. Since he was seated directly next to them and talking, the couple either didn't realize the camera was on them or the moment was a very believable bit. In the clip, you can see J-Lo speaking to Affleck in what looks like it could be a stern tone. As the camera gets closer, J-Lo lightly hits Affleck's chest before giving him a displeased look and turning away, looking frustrated. Affleck also is looking a bit disgruntled for the remainder of the video. Once Jennifer does turn around and realize where the camera is, she starts laughing and smiling again. Ben offers a little half smile, but mainly keeps a straight face. Interesting video of J-Lo seemingly flirting has made the rounds on social media. The video is weird, I don't know how else to put it. It's a heavily slowed down shot of J-Lo making a funny face towards someone behind her. The camera pans to someone who looks like a DJ. There are over 25,000 comments on the video and lots of them are saying J-Lo is flirting with the person. One person writing, "So disrespectful, poor Ben." The video was posted in May of last year and people are also up in arms about this video since J-Lo is standing directly beside her future husband Ben Affleck. Other angles of the moment show J-Lo jamming out to the music. Even Ben offered a little shuffle and that's when J-Lo looked the DJ's way. The clip is from the premiere of J-Lo's 2023 movie The Mother. J-Lo went viral when on-set footage resurfaced of her spitting gum into an assistant's hand. The video was taken about 6 years ago now, and yet it still causes a stir every once in a while. Reposted all across the internet, the 20-second video shows J-Lo, presumably on the set of a TV or film. I'm guessing that the cameras are about to roll, but J-Lo is chewing gum. The method of choice chosen to get rid of that gum in the situation appears to be spitting it directly in someone's hand. After the video went viral, again, people started pointing out that they are on a street and a major movie set. A trash can has to be nearby, or at least a tissue. Some people have commented on the clip when it was posted to a TikTok page, pointing out that J-Lo has a purse in her hand. Were there no tissues in there? People are just generally upset and mildly disgusted by the action. One person commenting, "I have never been in a situation where I felt the need to spit anything into someone's hand. I would swallow the gum before I would do something so disgusting." Those arguing in favor of J-Lo have brought up that the behavior is common on film sets, but the biggest player coming to J-Lo's defense in the situation is actually the assistant in the video. She took to her ex social media account to set the record straight. She clarified that there was a tissue in her hand and she requested that J-Lo spit the gum in her hand. She also said that there were large crowds present and it was winter and they were waiting for a light to change so that they could film, so there were a lot of factors that made this situation one where they had to move quickly. The assistant noted that spitting the gum in her hand was the most efficient solution at the time. Much to the displeasure of the star, the paparazzi can't seem to get enough of J-Lo. A video of Jennifer interacting with paparazzi was posted to TikTok in November of 2023, and like most of the other ones, she is not happy to be there. At the start of this video, we can hear the pop in question congratulate her and Ben from that, and when this video was posted, I'm assuming the congratulations were about the pair's wedding a few months prior. Though the pop is trying to speak positively, J-Lo is still quite upset being followed around. As she is getting into her car, we can hear J-Lo say something along the lines of, "Nobody likes leaving their house and having you guys follow them every single day," finishing off her statement with a final "nobody likes that" as she continues getting in her car. The paparazzi filming can be heard saying, "I understand, Jennifer, I get you," as they continue to get closer to the star. Other footage released of the encounter shows an annoyed looking J-Lo and Ben. The spotlight was stolen by a couple's argument at the premiere of J-Lo's 2023 movie, The Mother. J-Lo and her future husband Ben Affleck were photographed and filmed on the red carpet, and they did not seem overjoyed to be there. The pair appeared to be arguing with each other on the carpet. It's unclear what about. It could be something serious or something simple, like where they're going to stand next. They were pointing somewhere in the distance, so maybe they were debating whether or not to go inside. Regardless, the two look like they are exchanging heated words in front of the camera. The clip ends with Affleck moving off screen, likely giving J-Lo her moment with the cameras, as it was her movie after all. This clip is from the same premiere that the flirting clip was from. Paparazzi caught J-Lo after she was locked out of her gym, and the star was not happy about it, directing the F-bomb their way before she left in her car. In a clip posted to Daily Mail's TikTok, the Jenny from the Block singer can be seen running to her upscale gym's front door in bright neon yellow workout clothes. Only when she gets there, she is left waiting outside, the door is locked, and no one is coming to answer. I mean, this would be frustrating for anyone, but the star also has all the cameras watching her to deal with. Naturally, she grows aggravated and gives up the weight getting back into her car. The pops get a bit closer to the star as she's trying to enter the car. You can hear the star tell them to go away. J-Lo leaves the pops with an "F you, bye." The video ends before we can see her car drive off. A clip from J-Lo's new documentary of the singer talking about award-winning dancer and choreographer Derek Hough went viral online because it appears that J-Lo is trying to move his wedding plans around to accommodate her movie. That sounds really bad, but that is absolutely what it looks like from the short clip. J-Lo is seen talking with people on her team. It looks like she is looking for someone to either choreograph or be in the movie, and she wants a good dancer. Professional dancer and Dancing with the Stars performer Val is brought up as a choice, but J-Lo isn't feeling it. She very clearly wants Derek. She says, "I mean, I know Val is available, but I want you to call Derek." She then goes on to say that she only needs him for 1 or 2 days. But as a member of her team quickly points out, he was busy because he was in a wedding. It was revealed by Derek at the premiere that it wasn't just any wedding, it was his wedding. Well, he revealed he received a call from J-Lo in the middle of planning his wedding, so people connected the dots from there. In the clip that went viral, J-Lo is unyielding and insists that Derek be called anyway. After the movie came out, Derek joined E! News for an interview where he clarified that J-Lo did not make him change his schedule. She flipped her schedule around for him. He also went on to say that J-Lo provided guidance and help while he was planning his wedding.
Jennifer Lopez has been going through a lot recently, so let's take a look at 10 more embarrassing moments that ruined her career. Now, starting off, we have her new album flopping. Now, in its first week, Jennifer Lopez's new album, This Is Me Now, debuted on the Billboard 200 at the number 38 spot before dropping off the chart altogether. Now, this was definitely not what she was hoping for with this album. J-Lo's devastated the album. Her first in nearly a decade did so poorly. She's never experienced this kind of failure. It's humiliating, a source exclusively told In Touch. She poured her heart and soul into this project. It was a huge undertaking. Jennifer released the album in February as a sequel to her 2002 record, This Is Me Then, which was written amid her and Ben Affleck's first engagement. Although the two eventually split in January 2004 and went on to marry other people, they reconciled nearly 20 years later in 2021. Ben proposed in March 2022, and the couple tied the knot that summer. Ben was her muse for both of these projects. Next is that she treats her employees badly. According to several of J-Lo's former staff members, Jennifer earned herself the nickname Pay-Lo because she paid her staff around 50% less than they could make elsewhere, which is crazy because her current net worth is $400 million. But because she had to work hard for her money, she believed that others should work hard too. Now, an incident related to this happened in 2003. Jennifer was spotted in Vegas with her then boyfriend Ben Affleck, and the pair had a big win, and Ben decided to drop a $2,000 tip to the dealer. But before the dealer could scoop up the generous reward, JLo snatched up the cash and swapped it for $200 instead, which is just rude and was not her call. Then she got a maid fired. In 2002, Jennifer starred in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan. She went all over the world promoting the romantic comedy, and when she landed in London, she had people talking about her demands. When promoting the movie, she had a very interesting encounter with hotel staff, as she stayed at the Metropolitan Hotel and showed her early signs of being a diva. The hotel staff was amazed by her lavish and extravagant demands, as it was something they'd never seen before. Apparently, she requested the hotel staff to provide her with thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. Not to mention, she only travels in style when it's a short distance. She had 7 limousines escort her to lunch at the Dorchester, only 200 yards away. And then in 2012, it was reported that she had a maid fired from her job, although she repeatedly denies it. Jennifer was staying at the Melia Dusseldorf in Germany, and a maid working at the hotel Prey Doja approached the diva's room to get an autograph. Now, she spoke with JLo's assistant, who denied her, and the next morning Prey was fired. She said, "A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone because of an autograph." Now, Jennifer and the hotel deny that she was fired for that specific reason, as JLo called the story hurtful, but who knows? Now we have her performance demands. In 2013, JLo was set to perform at the opening ceremony of the Indian Premier Cricket League. Now, the event is often compared to the Super Bowl and has quite a large audience. The year before, 56 million viewers tuned in to watch Katy Perry perform, and it was estimated that JLo would get an audience close to 60 million. However, her demands essentially cost her the event. She asked for a large number of hotel rooms for her massive entourage, which included her personal chef and stylist. Now, she also demanded a private plane, and in the end, organizers rejected her requests and instead brought in Pitbull to replace her, as it would cost them less money. Now, I'm sure she thought she was irreplaceable, but she wasn't. Now, you'd think she'd learn her lesson to not ask for so much after that encounter, but I'm sure she continued on with those demands. Speaking of, let's talk about the demands for American Idol. Listen up, everyone. JLo does not come at a cheap price. You want her as an American Idol judge, then you have to pay her $20 million, and that's per season. Yep. It turns out that the pay for sitting in a chair and judging people isn't all that bad, as in 2011, JLo was paid approximately $12 million to replace Simon Cowell on American Idol. Time reports that JLo's American Idol salaries have ranged from $12 to $20 million. While Jen's presence has been credited for rejuvenating the show, the price tag remains shocking. And now that Katy Perry has left the show, there is rumors about JLo replacing her, but again, that will come at a huge price. Then there's her canceled tour. On May 31st, it was announced that Jennifer's This Is Me Live summer tour was cancelled. Live Nation confirmed the cancellation to the Associated Press, stating Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends. In addition, Jennifer released a statement of her own on her On the JLo website, explaining the reason behind the cancellation. She wrote, "I'm completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary." She added, "I promise I'll make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." The This Is Me Live tour would have been Jennifer's first in 5 years. It was going to be in support of her first solo album in 10 years, This Is Me Now, and its companion film. Now, rumor has it that poor ticket sales and an impending breakup with her husband of 2 years, Ben Affleck, might have contributed to the tour's cancellation, and this would explain why she needed to spend time with her loved ones. Moving on to lying about plastic surgery. Jennifer has been accused of getting plastic surgery many times, but each time she denies it. In 2013, when a UK-based plastic surgeon analyzed pictures of her on Twitter, he claimed that they showed signs of cosmetic work, and she hit back adding him, saying, "Sorry sir, but I've never had plastic surgery of any kind, #fag." fact, she tweeted. Then on January 15th, 2021, Jennifer posted a video on her Instagram revealing the results of that limitless glow sheet mask from her new beauty line. A fan took to the comments to accuse the singer-actress of achieving her ageless look with something more than a mask, saying, "You definitely had Botox and tons of it, and it's all good, just saying." Now Jennifer commented back and said, "LOL, that's just my face. For the 500 millionth time, I've never done Botox or any other injectables or surgery. Just saying, get yourself some J-Lo beauty and feel beautiful in your skin. And here's another J-Lo beauty secret. Try spending your time being more positive, kind, and uplifting to others. Don't spend your time trying to bring others down. That will keep you youthful and beautiful too." Now we have the self-financed movie. Now after her album This Is Me Now, Jennifer created her own movie based on the album called This Is Me Now, A Love Story. According to a Variety interview, the album, film, and accompanying documentary cost $20 million in total to produce. Now once it was done, Amazon then purchased the project. "We went in over budget. It was a challenging project in that way. It's like there could have never been enough money for the project," she told The Hollywood Reporter. "We didn't have endless funds from a studio. This was a very independent project that I was self-financing, so it was very challenging periodically. Everyone thought I was crazy when I said I would self-fund the film. We did have financing and then that fell out," she revealed. "They pulled out at the last minute, and then it was that moment where you go, okay, do we just make a video or do we go ahead and do this thing?" Now she went ahead with it, but it wasn't really the best idea. Next we have her Mariah feud. The Jennifer-Mariah feud has played out since the early 2000s, and it all began with 4 little words Mariah Carey once uttered to a German reporter: "I don't know her." Now both stars have repeatedly been asked about the comment, and they can't seem to decide whether they like each other or not. When Andy Cohen brought up the feud on his show Watch What Happens Live in 2014, Jennifer played the whole thing off, saying, "I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. Like, we don't know each other." She added, "I would love to meet her and I would love to be friends with her." However, during a 2016 appearance on the Wendy Williams show, J-Lo had other thoughts. "Mariah does say that. She's forgetful, I guess," she slammed. "We've met many times." Now that same year, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen about the feud and stood her ground, reiterating, "I don't know her, what am I supposed to say?" Then, following Mariah's disastrous New Year's Eve performance that December, Jennifer found an opportunity to throw shade. When an Instagram user posted about the train wreck show, writing, "Ever seen an accident you couldn't take your eyes away from? That was her tonight." J-Lo liked the post. Then, when Mariah published her memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, in September 2020, she not only revealed the root of her feud with J-Lo, but she also made sure to throw shade at her. In the book, Mariah slams her ex-husband, Tommy Mottola, the then chairman and CEO of Sony Music Entertainment, accusing him of trying to ruin her career and getting Jennifer Lopez involved. And finally, we have her lying about products. In December 2020, Jennifer made headlines when she insisted that the secret to her flawless complexion is olive oil. The star spoke out ahead of the launch of her J-Lo beauty skincare range. Speaking to Page 6 at the time, Jennifer said of olive oil, "It's a secret I've used all over the years because it really does work." She wanted to encourage people to also be vigilant with sunscreen, explaining, "One of the big things I would encourage everybody to do from the time they're 15 years old, even younger, is wear sunscreen every day." But an eagle-eyed fan may have spotted one more way that Jennifer maintains her super smooth and glowing skin in videos and photos: filters. TikTok user @NeedTheDeets exposed the trick when they uploaded a clip from one of Jennifer's social media posts from February 2023, which highlighted the moment an apparent filter glitched. "Wait for the filter to fall off to see J-Lo's real skin texture," they captioned the video. Now in the footage, Jennifer looks absolutely flawless as she talks about going to the gym, but sure enough, at one point she leans closer to the camera and her skin looks much more relatable. Jen quickly readjusts herself, making the glitch a blink and you'll miss it moment, but viewers still found the filter slip up hilarious. The way she jumps back when she realizes, one person commented. Another observed, "I love how the filter deactivated on telling. Filter literally snitched on cue." Now in fact, Jen looked so good that people shared their sadness that she even felt the need to alter her appearance online. and others argued that it isn't appropriate for Jen to digitally enhance her skin when she sells skincare products. Now, regardless, if you're gonna use filters, just make sure they work properly.
First up, of course, we have Mariah Carey. Even if you're not familiar with many of JLo's feuds, I'm sure you know that Mariah Carey hates her. That's because Mariah has not been shy about throwing shade in her direction. These two have been feuding ever since JLo started to make music, and started to steal her shine. Then when Mariah was asked about Lopez in an interview, she famously replied, quote, "I don't know her." Years later, when Andy Cohen brought up the beef on his show Watch What Happens Live in 2014, Jennifer Lopez played the whole thing off, saying, quote, "I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day, I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. Like, we don't know each other. I would love to meet her, and I would love to be friends with her." But then JLo was a little more savage on the Wendy Williams show when asked about the feud in 2016. Lopez said, quote, "She's forgetful, I guess. We've met so many times." But Carey doubled down in another interview where she added that she still doesn't know Jennifer Lopez. When Mariah had a mishap of her own during a disastrous New Year's Eve performance, Lopez took a break from the high road and liked an extremely shady tweet about Mariah. The tweet said, quote, "Ever seen an accident you couldn't take your eyes away from? That was her tonight." If you're wondering where this feud started, it all goes back to Mariah's ex-husband and music executive, Tommy Mottola. After getting married in 1993, Carey divorced Mottola in 1998 because he was very controlling. And to get back at her, Mottola started up JLo's career and did everything possible to make JLo a star, instead of Mariah. JLo sampled a number of Mariah-esque songs. There were even allegations she straight up copied some of Mariah's songs, but tried to make them more of a hit. All because of Mottola. But Mariah knows she still came out on top, adding, quote, "After all that shit, Loverboy ended up being the best-selling single of 2001 in the United States." So basically the whole feud is over career competition and the fact that Lopez was in cahoots with Carey's controlling ex. Rosie Perez. You'd think that JLo and Rosie Perez would be great friends, considering how much they have in common. Both women are dancers, are Puerto Rican, and grew up in New York. But the pair are not close, and it would be more accurate to say that they actually hate each other. According to Perez's 2014 memoir, Handbook for an Unpredictable Life, she has plenty of negative stories to share about JLo. In her memoir, Perez shared a story from the set of In Living Color. She wrote about Lopez, quote, "All of the girls were coming into my office complaining how she was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me, all to her advantage," and added she was acting like, quote, "some ghetto bitch," screaming and pounding her chest. JLo ended up leaving that show after 2 seasons, but the feud between the pair continued, and Perez claimed that Lopez would speak negatively about her whenever she got the chance. Even worse, Lopez was allegedly two-faced. She would talk trash behind Perez's back, but be nice to her face. Brandy. In the midst of the Mariah and JLo feud, Brandy publicly supported Mariah, making it clear she does not like JLo. In July of 2017, Brandy took to Instagram to share a photo of herself hugging Mariah Carey with the caption, #SheKnows Me, an obvious reference to Mariah's infamous "I don't know her" comment about JLo. All the comments were flooded with people speculating over the caption, and the consensus quickly became that the photo was a dig at JLo. However, Brandy later addressed the caption, writing, quote, "Oh my god, what happened? I swear to goodness, I didn't know what the fuss is about. I love this pic and now everyone thinks I'm throwing shade. At who? This is funny. Can't take this one down. I love this picture and whenever I'm throwing shade, it's not questionable, you know that I am." Later adding that Mariah does in fact know her. Mariah supported the post by commenting, quote, "I sure do." Even though Brandy is trying to convince us it's nothing shady, I honestly don't believe it. Next up, Nicki Minaj. It's long been rumored that Jennifer Lopez is a huge diva, and the fight that her and Nicki Minaj had while on American Idol brought up both of their diva sides. In 2012, Lopez was a judge on American Idol while Nicki came on to perform, and things got tense fast. After Nicki finished performing, she went over to the judges table and asked, quote, "I was hoping maybe I could come back and be a guest judge. JLo, can you scoot over a little bit?" JLo then responded, quote, "I don't know if there's enough room for both of us." Then Minaj took it up another notch backstage when she said, quote, "She didn't seem to be having it, but she's gonna have it." But she later added, quote, "We were just joking around." But it's clear the bad blood is still there. When Lopez performed at the 2015 AMAs, she sang a part of Minaj's song Anaconda. But I don't think Nicki got the memo that it was going to be happening, because when the camera panned to Nicki, she did not look happy. Fans totally saw the shade and started tweeting about it that night. Rihanna. Rihanna and JLo started feuding right around the time that JLo was seen getting cozy with Rihanna's ex, Drake. This all happened in 2016 when J.Lo and Drake took a photo backstage at J.Lo's concert. Once the photos came out, everyone assumed that they were dating, which probably got the attention of his exes. A lot of fans felt the whole thing was most likely a publicity stunt, but Rihanna took the rumors pretty seriously and lashed out online because of it. A source said at the time that Rihanna suffered, quote, the ultimate betrayal and dubbed Lopez desperate and a traitor. This was because Rihanna and J.Lo were really tight at one point, and Rihanna even got support from J.Lo during rough times with Drake. Then in December of 2016, Rihanna unfollowed J.Lo on Instagram, making her stance very clear. Jenna Dewan. When the pair started alongside each other on World of Dance, they seemed like they got along great. Lopez was a producer and a judge, while Dewan was a host and mentor on the show. But sources revealed that when the camera stopped rolling, the women hated each other. One source said about their relationship, quote, Jenna can't stand Jen's over-the-top theatrical fakery. Jen never fails to ham it up when the cameras are rolling, and she hijacks the show. It seems she'd prefer if Jenna just stayed in the background. The insider continued that J.Lo is a micromanager who tells everyone else what to do. Because of all her input, Jenna felt excluded and felt like her voice was not heard. Although there is a chance that this feud is not accurate because when Dewan's team was asked about the feud rumors, they denied them. Ojani Noah. Jennifer Lopez has been married 3 times before. Her first and shortest marriage was to Cuban waiter Ojani Noah. Although their relationship ended in 1998, it's clear that Noah cannot stand her, and whenever asked about Lopez, he does not hold back his negative feelings. Back in 2006, he was actually set to release a juicy tell-all book about Lopez called The Unknown Truth, a passionate portrait of a serial thriller. But before it was set to be published, Lopez was able to stop it with a lawsuit. She argued that publishing the book broke their confidentiality agreement, and the courts agreed. From that lawsuit, she won $545,000 in damages, and Noah was forbid from criticizing or casting in a negative light or otherwise disparaging Lopez. Noah's name was brought up once again when he threatened to leak an intimate tape of the two of them on their honeymoon. Lopez then filed a $10 million lawsuit against him. When asked why the relationship ended, Noah blamed Lopez, saying, quote, I was looking forward to being with her for the rest of my life. It didn't happen. She made the choice of her career instead of me. And finally, Jennifer Lopez herself. Nobody has done more to warn us about J.Lo's sketchy behavior than herself. And some of the things she's done in the past are too terrible to ignore. Back when she tried to score a role in competition with actress Claire Danes, J.Lo said some harsh things about her competition, saying that Claire Danes does the quote, same thing with every character she does. Then Lopez bashed Winona Ryder, saying that she was not a big fan of her work. And finally, Lopez took aim at Gwyneth Paltrow, saying, quote, tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Then in a different interview, Lopez decided to take aim at Madonna, specifically bashing Madonna's attempt at acting. Quote, do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. Aside from dishing out unnecessary shade to other celebrities, Lopez also has a reputation for being incredibly rude to service people. One United Airlines employee told the press how much of a diva she was during her flight. Apparently he asked if she wanted a drink, and she replied, quote, I just said, what can I get you to drink? But Jennifer refused to even acknowledge me. She turned her head away and told her personal assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime. Even though the stewardess was trying to serve her what she wanted, she refused to look, and made her assistant speak for her. It's so ridiculous and an unnecessary power play. But this interaction is nothing compared to the maid that was fired for asking J.Lo for an autograph. The maid later spoke with media and said she asked J.Lo's 2 assistants, who rejected the autograph. Then a day later, the hotel said that Lopez complained about the incident, and that maid was fired.
One of the biggest red flags about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's divorce is the fact that they have been living apart, completely separated. Now, although the couple made no public announcement about it, this has been confirmed by multiple sources and in multiple outlets. Now, it was first reported on May 16th that Ben had been staying at a Brentwood home all by himself. Then on May 19th, one inside source claimed that they had been staying in separate homes and the tension has been high. And then more recently, on June 28th, it was reported that Ben was moving his belongings out of their home and that the two of them only communicate now to discuss essential matters and updates. And these rumors expose their major marriage problems, which they've been hiding from the world. Now, Us Weekly spoke to someone back in May who said they started having issues a few months ago as Jen had started ramping up work commitments and prepping for her tour. They're on two completely different pages most of the time. Now apparently around that same time, the couple did not celebrate Mother's Day together, which of course is a bad sign. It was also suggested that finances and parenting have made their issues worse. Meanwhile, another insider said Ben feels like Jen has a hard time feeling satisfied, and that's one of the issues they're facing. Ben is one of the only people who feels comfortable enough to be honest and real with Jen. It's part of why Jen loves him, but also why she's upset with him. Now, unfortunately, it seems like others around them are also pushing for divorce. JLo's mom allegedly told her, "Cut your losses and move on to avoid getting any deeper in this mess." She told her that she's wasted years believing that Ben was some kind of knight in shining armor. But according to her mom, he was not the person she built him up to be. It's taken too much of a toll on her, and because of this, she has lost sight of who she is and what she stands for. Meanwhile, JLo's sisters want her to file for divorce first and get on with her life so she can focus on her kids and career. And clearly, if her own family are giving her this advice, their marriage must be beyond the point of saving. Now, sadly, Ben's breakdown says a lot as well. It's clear he isn't going through the best of times at the moment. While rumors over the end of his marriage seem to be confirmed, the media spotlight that they're going through right now seems to be taking its toll. Now, Ben already proved it a few days ago after losing control and facing the paparazzi waiting for him at the exit of his mansion he shares with JLo in Beverly Hills. Now, he apparently went to pick up his personal belongings, taking advantage of the fact that his wife was on vacation in Italy. Now, one source close to him said, "It's no wonder he snapped, he's on the verge of a breakdown." Now, people close to Ben have been worried about him for a while because of what he's been going through in the past few months. They went on to say that he's in a very dark moment, and when he gets like this, his loved ones can't help but fear the worst. Now, since family has always been a fundamental pillar for Ben, he's now become very focused on his children, and surprisingly found a lot of support from his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, who has not hesitated to offer her help to Ben, even though JLo is not thrilled about it. Now, apparently Garner always steps in when he gets like this, and she's been visiting him at home a lot to make sure that he's doing well. But again, JLo is apparently not too thrilled that Jen is stepping in like this, since it's well known that she has a lot of rules when it comes to her love life, which includes controlling how often Ben sees his ex-wife. Now, it's been rumored that the actor will be reunited with his ex-wife for Deadpool 3, and a source recently told Women's Day that JLo wants 24/7 access to the set and to be able to drop in unannounced. There are to be no promo joint interviews and/or photo shoots, and no after-work socializing. She wants Ben at home as soon as he's done filming. So clearly, she is more than a little concerned about their workplace relationship. And JLo has also always been very strict on her idea of cheating, but she is known to take it a little too far. Now, she actually has a rule banning female flight attendants from her private planes because of her ex-husband's affair with one. And this is a rule that she has in place whenever she travels with Ben Affleck. Now, according to a news article, Jennifer was so angry after finding out her then-husband Mark Anthony had a fling with a flight attendant that she banned women from working on her private planes. Now, the two of them ended up splitting in 2012, but she clearly still carries that resentment with her. So much so that she can't trust these women to be around Ben either. Now, several corporate flight attendants came forward and confirmed that Jennifer brings her own male flight attendant, who is really just her personal assistant. Talk about bending the rules. Now, JLo allegedly keeps Ben on a tight leash about other things too. Before they got married, she demanded that he had to be in the best physical shape. Now, after the couple rekindled their relationship, she put him on a strict diet and workout regimen. According to an inside source, when they first started dating, Ben was up at 5 a.m. hitting the gym with JLo. Now, she told him this is unacceptable, and she expects him to pick up the slack and wants him working out every day and eating right, no excuses. Now, the singer has also put her foot down when it comes to Ben's drinking. She's not a fan of drinking and partying and has always had a strict limit, but she changed this rule completely because of Ben's struggles. But you see, that's the other thing. With all of these divorce rumors going around, it's become very apparent that they are totally different people. While Ben is known as a more chill celebrity, JLo is the complete opposite. Now, she allegedly has a rule where she does not allow staff to talk to her directly or look her in the eye. In one instance, when contractors were hired for a job that could take up to a year on her house, they were informed that they were not to communicate with her at all. An inside source said she has made it clear that if any of the contractors, drivers, or domestic help make eye contact or speak to her, she will not be impressed. Now, she doesn't speak to salespeople, restaurant or hotel staff, or flight attendants. She only talks through her assistants. One flight attendant famously exposed her rude behavior. Apparently, when he asked Jennifer if she wanted a drink during a flight, she flat out ignored him, turned her head, and told her assistant, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime." He said she wouldn't even look at me. It was sad. She seemed so sweet in her movies. Now, it's no wonder the singer is rumored to be entitled and superficial, because so many regular people have had the unfortunate one-time experience of being snubbed by her. And J-Lo's diva behavior actually goes back decades. Just ask fellow actress Rosie Perez. Now, they met back in 1991 during an open casting call for Living in Color. At the time, Perez was the show's choreographer, and Lopez was auditioning to become a member of the dance troupe known as the Fly Girls. Now, her audition was unsuccessful, but Perez saw a star quality in J-Lo and actually pulled some strings to get her in. But after she was in the group, it became clear that Lopez didn't get along with her fellow dancers. According to Perez, she was labeled as a diva right away, saying all the girls were coming into my office complaining how she was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me all to her advantage. Perez said she didn't believe in it at first, but then J-Lo screamed at her saying, "I know I'm good, I'm better than any of these girls and you know it." Now, what's worse is after J-Lo left the show and made it big in the music industry, she went on talk shows trashing her former choreographer. Perez also implied that J-Lo ghosted her. She said, "I called her up, she wouldn't pick up. Frustrated, I left her an irate message on her answering machine, and instead of calling me back and hashing it out like friends do, she went on a major talk show and reiterated my lashing." Not to forget the fact that Jennifer also allegedly got a German hotel maid fired for asking for an autograph. Now, the staff member was working at the luxury Malia Hotel in Dusseldorf, Germany in 2012, and she was a big fan of J-Lo and worked up the courage to knock on the star's hotel door to ask for an autograph, but she was promptly turned away. She then claimed that she was fired the day after. She told The Sun, "I am an incredibly big fan, so I took all my courage and rang the bell to get an autograph, but I was rejected by 2 assistants at the door. A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone." Now, after receiving a rightful amount of backlash, the pop star wrote on Twitter, "Come on, thought you knew me better than this. Would never get anyone fired over an autograph. First if I heard of this was on Twitter, #hurtful." So clearly she's been a controversial figure for quite some time, and fans are pointing this out now that they seem to be on the brink of divorce. So what's in store for this couple in the future? I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I think it ends with divorce papers. In 2011, J-Lo had a mishap while on the German TV show When in Das. Now, the show was being filmed in Spain when Jennifer suffered the embarrassment in front of a stadium audience as well as other celebrities present on the show. Now, not to mention, the show was live. Now, she first performed without any incidents, wearing a black mini dress and stilettos. Her second appearance on the show was a sit-down interview outside in a bullfighting arena. Now, she looked amazing in a long belted dress with a plunging neckline and a matching head wrap. In true J-Lo style, she had a grand entrance in a horse-drawn carriage before taking a seat. Now, as J-Lo was being helped to her seat by the show's host, the front of her dress opened a little bit too much and her entire breast fell out of her dress. Now, a crowd of thousands was there to witness the infamous wardrobe malfunction, and within the hour, the picture was on the cover of the world's #1 worldwide tabloid and on the internet. Next up is the awkward exchange. Now, Jennifer and Ben were spotted out together amid divorce rumors, but their outing was just plain awkward and it seemed to make everything worse. Now, the couple, joined by Ben's mom, were supporting the actor's son Samuel at his basketball game. As the pair walked in, Jen leaned forward to give Ben a slightly forced looking kiss on the cheek. Now Ben appeared to tense up and it didn't look like he enjoyed it at all. Now did Jen think doing this would show everyone that they're still in love and have no marriage problem? If so, it backfired because many people are calling the interaction forced and awkward. Ben then put his hand around J-Lo, but his hand never fully made contact with her lower back. Now it also seemed like he may have dodged a full-on kiss on the lips based on the off-kilter nature of the embrace. Now as they walked up the steps of the venue, Ben stayed at least 5 feet apart from J-Lo, who ventured ahead. Ben then took a moment to speak to his mom, looking more at ease before waving his hand at photographers, and then they all went inside. And now let's talk about the insensitive comments. Now let me give you some background onto why everyone felt that J-Lo was trashing belly dancing. So a part of the 2020 Super Bowl performance featured young dancers sitting in glowing cages, which many people assumed represented the immigrant children in cages at the US border. But J-Lo apparently had a hard time convincing the NFL to do this and says, quote, "I'm trying to give you something with substance, not just us out there shaking our effing butts and effing belly dancing." She went on to say that she wanted something real, something that's gonna make a statement, something that's gonna say we belong here and we have something to offer. Now if you're confused as to why this was controversial, it's essentially because she compared the art of belly dancing to just shaking your butt for the hell of it. In fact, that particular line was shared across Twitter and people were very mad. It was just a little culturally insensitive to say, considering that the dance has been associated with Middle Eastern cultures and it's something that Shakira has become known for, using it to channel her father's Lebanese, Syrian, Arab roots. Then there's the racism. 20 years ago, Lopez was approaching full actualization as an entertainer, but a single from her second album, J-Lo, almost derailed her career entirely. The Murder Inc. remix of I'm Real, which features Ja Rule and owned radio in 2001, was ruined by the N-word she drops in her final verse. Yes, now the issue was that the song was an instant hit, so much so that 10 years later in 2011, Billboard gave it the 6th spot on its 40 biggest duets of all times list. But rightfully so, people were outraged by her use of the loaded term. Not only because she's a Latina artist, but at her level of success where she has a platform and sets an example to young fans, using such a derogatory word is at best offensive. But as the accusations of racism started to mount against her, she eventually spoke out to defend her actions on the Today Show, saying, "For anyone to think or suggest that I'm racist is really absurd and hateful to me." Although many people think this is not an excuse, it was later revealed that the track was actually written by Ja Rule himself, and he encouraged J-Lo to say it. Moving on to the price tag. Jennifer has suffered an awkward and somewhat revealing wardrobe malfunction while attending the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show at St. Mark's Square in Venice. Now she managed to show just how much she spent on her outfit, literally. Though someone like J-Lo has a huge team surrounding her, they missed an important detail in her outfit, as Jennifer wound up with the paparazzi catching the price tag still attached to her outfit. Now the label was only visible when the cape was blown open from the wind, which made it pretty noticeable in the photos of her outside. Now the singer's bodyguard held her hand while she walked alongside her glam team, who again didn't seem to notice the tag hanging from her, which is just crazy because she has such a big team. Now Jennifer didn't seem to notice it either, and I need to ask, were they planning on returning it? Did they leave it on purpose? And this isn't the first time that this has happened to a star, as a similar incident happened to Meghan Markle years back. Now I just want to know why people on their team aren't being more attentive to detail, as the tag just ruins the whole outfit. Then there's the Mark Anthony romance. Celebrity gossip magazines could not get enough of the power couple in the early 2000s. They were absolutely everywhere, and it seemed like fans loved the pairing. But their beginnings as a couple were questionable to say the least. Anthony married former Miss Universe Dayanara Torres in 2000, while Jen was dating Ben Affleck around the same time. But the on-again off-again couple picked their romance back up while Anthony was still married to Dayanara. So less than a week after Anthony's divorce was finalized, the couple surprised fans by getting married in a small casual ceremony in her Beverly Hills home in early June. Now it really begs the question to whether or not J-Lo was some kind of homewrecker, because the timeline of the rekindled relationship seemed really off. Now I mean, he actually broke the other woman's heart, as she said, "You go through hell. I cried until there were no tears left, until I was numb. I didn't want to eat, I didn't care to get dressed or take a shower, I just wanted to lie there." Now Anthony's feelings for Jennifer might have been there all along because the two had history, but he should have put more thought into who he chose to marry in the first place, so in a way, they're both at fault. On to Ben's love letters. Okay, so this isn't embarrassing because Ben truly loves her, but it's because J-Lo exposed Ben's love letters without asking him. Now, J-Lo released an album called This Is Me Now, and she made a movie for it and then a documentary for it. Now, the documentary exposed a lot about J-Lo and her life, and it was called The Greatest Love Story Never Told, and it was about the making of the record and the film. Now, when her husband Ben Affleck pops up in the doc, it's often to express concern his private love story is being used for something he didn't particularly want, which hey, can't blame him for that. Now, the doc is actually named after a scrapbook Ben gifted Jennifer for Christmas in 2021, stacked with every letter and email they'd written each other over the last 20 years. Now, Jennifer showed the book to her producers and songwriters on her first day of making her new album without asking or telling Ben. It became like our Bible, she says in the doc. We just left it there in the studio. Now, this revelation comes within the first 5 minutes of the doc, and right out of the gate, Ben is not shy about his discomfort. He's shocked that Jennifer would share something so personal with her collaborators, and now, of course, with the world. Then there's the performance gone wrong. In July 2022, while Jennifer was performing, she had a mishap with one of her outfits. While performing, her bodysuit ripped, forming a small visible hole on her backside during one of her songs, but she didn't miss a beat, continuing to sing and dance like the professional that she is. Now, she actually posted a video of it laughing at herself on her TikTok page. Jennifer combined the video with the viral sound "Oh No" by Creepa, and it definitely was an oh no moment indeed. Now, this isn't the first time she's had her bodysuit rip while performing, as in 2016 Jennifer was performing for a live audience in Las Vegas when she suffered a wardrobe malfunction towards the end of the show. When she and her other dancers went and thanked the crowd for coming out and taking their final bows, J-Lo had a mishap with her bodysuit. As she went on to link arms with the background dancers, unfortunately for her, when she bent down, the stitch around her hips burst open, showing a bit of skin underneath. Now, thankfully it happened at the end of her show, but wow, it sure does seem like this happens often. Next up is her diva behavior. In 1997, J-Lo had her big break in the film Selena. It was a success with audiences and critics. She was praised for her performance. She has been very successful as an actress and has appeared in numerous films, as well as her popular singing career. Now, she's one of the most recognizable and popular celebs in the world, so it makes sense that she has a large staff working for her. Now, apparently though, she also makes demands from her staff. In 2012, reports surfaced that Jenny from the Block demanded staff working for her make no eye contact or speak with her. While having work done on her San Fernando Valley home, she demanded that none of the helpers, drivers, or contractors have any interactions with her, although these rumors were never confirmed. And reportedly, when flying first class, she doesn't like anyone to bother her, even if it's a flight attendant. One time, a flight attendant offered her a drink and she refused to acknowledge him. She said to her assistant, "Please let him know I'd like a Diet Coke and lime." Now, this rumor hasn't been confirmed, but it does reinforce her diva image. It seems like she doesn't appreciate the help that she gets. And finally, we have too many requests. Now, for those of you who don't know, a rider is a list of requirements or conditions that a star expects in addition to their appearance fee when they are guests on shows or performing on tour. The celebrity gossip Instagram account De Moi recently shared a screenshot to reveal Jennifer's demand under a food rider. A source wrote to the IG handle J-Lo's food rider, and it specifically includes pumpkin seed bark thins, which are only available in the fall, so the production office would have to buy out every store and store them away to make sure they didn't run out until the next fall. Now, in the following post, the source also confirmed Jennifer Lopez's beauty rider, which consisted of expensive skincare products, including the Dr. Hosheka Rose Day Cream, SK11 Essence, and Mask, as well as La Mer body lotion, among many others. Upon being asked whether the 3-time AMA winning songstress asked for those, the source quipped yes. Now, previously, back in October 2020, the celebrity gossip account had shared a photograph of a document that was allegedly the beauty selection of Jennifer's rider. Now, a total of 90 products were listed in the document, and her demands included 28 hair products, 4 masks, and 2 different sunscreens, to name a few.